We have reached 8:30 now, and that means it's time for the 8:30 High Beam here on the BT Morning Show. And we are privileged to welcome in our guest, Al Landis, this morning, Tuscarawas County Commissioner. Al, thanks for being here. We certainly appreciate that.
Thank you, Brad. Great to be here.
Tell me a little bit about what it's been like in the commissioner's office here recently, because I know you and the other two, Carrie and Chris, have been able to recognize some citizens, and I guess as we backpedal, that was something that wasn't going on for a while, so it's probably gratifying in a couple of senses, isn't it?
It is. And first I want to say I'm here pinch hitting for Commissioner Chris Abiel,
Yeah.
who is at the John Glenn Leadership Institute in Columbus this week. So I'm pinch hitting for him, and I appreciate the opportunity to be here.
Our pleasure.
But you're right. You know, coming out of the dark ages that we just came through in 20 and 21, we didn't have very many visitors to the county office building. And it's great to have people back. It's nice to have, especially young people. It's nice to expose them to local government, and we've had the opportunity to have four Eagle Scouts come in.
Wow.
As of recent. Roy Chisman from Strasburg, Garrett Thomas, also from Strasburg, Caleb Meek from Sugar Creek, and Trey Charlton, who just came in from Dover. And these are nice young men who did community projects, and you can see the leaders in them already, even at this young age. And it's great to get them exposed to what goes on in local government. They came in for a county commissioners meeting and got to witness, how we do things here at the local level in New Philadelphia for Tuscarawas County. And maybe that'll spark an interest down the road that they'll get involved in local government and be leaders of the future. So
those Eagle Scouts are impressive. I mean, everything that they have to accomplish is it's great.
Well, Commissioner Metzger really takes great pride because he's a longtime Eagle Scout.
Okay.
I can't remember what year it was, but again, Kerry Metzger, he really tells them too that, look, this is an important step in your life, something that can follow you all the way through in your career. And he made a very clear point to make sure that these young men include that on their resumes. Because when a company looks at that, and maybe it's a close decision between that person and an Eagle Scout, they're going to get the nod almost every time because of that leadership ability and dedication to the community. So it was absolutely great. We also had a young man in named Xavier Pittman, who's a student at Buckeye Career Center. I believe he's a junior. And his home school's right here at Claymont, right across the street here. And he won a first place competition for computer networking, a national award, right here from Buckeye Career Center in Claymont. And what a nice young man he was. And again, leadership skills and the fact that he really knows his way around the computer. And it was absolutely great to meet the young man. Then on a more serious note, we recognized a Tuscarawas County deputy, Deputy Heath Manbeck. This young deputy, crawled into a burning building, crawled in and helped rescue a man. Not only saving the man's life, but putting his life right on the line.
Yeah.
That's the type of people that we have here in Tuscarawas County, the type of character. And people say, well, why do you live in Tuscarawas County? You look at these Eagle Scouts, you look at Xavier, and you look at Deputy Manbeck. It's like, yeah, this is why we live here.
Yeah.
There's a real true sense of community. We also had, just recently, from the County Prosecutor's Office, Kelly Carroll, Krista Nutter, and Ann Pirch from the Prosecutor's Office. They were recognized by Goodwill Industries for Victims Advocate Program. And, we see these young ladies going in and out of the office every day, and you really don't know the depth that they get into in their jobs. And working with victim advocates has got to be heart-wrenching, emotional, but it's something that's well needed. And for them to be recognized by Goodwill Industries right here in Tuscarawas County for their work and their service to these people, again, it's why we live here in Tuscarawas County, that we have this type of character right here.
I guess I don't have to ask you why you would ever wanted to be a Tuscarawas County Commissioner, because you feel like there's a lot of great resources right here.
Oh, absolutely. It's about the people. I mean, it's a beautiful, my wife and I, we ride our motorcycle through the countryside, and it's a beautiful place to live here in Tuscarawas County. But it really comes down to people as to why you stay here and why you want to help the community and why you step forward. I came out of the private sector, and I find public service to be very rewarding. And really, my forte is I like people and I like problem solving. And I can't solve people's problems, but I can certainly help. And that's one of the roles of the county commissioners is to work with people.
That's for
But
sure.
we also, I had the honor, and this was probably one of the most interesting things that I've done this year, especially coming out of the dark ages, having been there for 20 and 21.
Right.
But I was invited to Indian Valley School right up here in Midvale. Didn't know why I was going, okay? But there was a whole bunch of people there. And here we were there to recognize a teacher, Kristen Maurer, who had won a Millikan Educator Award, which is a very large educational group. And I believe they're headquartered out of California.
Right.
But the gentleman flew in from California, and joining us was all these previous winners from Ohio. And there was a whole line of them. And it was like a sorority or a fraternity getting together. But when they went through the presentation, only a few people knew that Kristen had won the award. And I was sitting about 20 feet from her. She was sitting on the ground with some of her students on the floor. And when they announced that she had won this national award, and I believe $25,000 in cash, the emotion on that young lady's face is priceless.
Yeah.
And here is a teacher in the Indian Valley District, right here in Tuscarawas County, being recognized for a national award. Again, it was a very warm feeling, and just a feeling of congratulations to Kristen and to the entire Indian Valley School District. It just speaks volumes. Her students just went absolutely bonkers when they won, when she won, and it was just, again, the emotion in that room was just absolutely priceless.
Yeah, that's great. Hey, we're speaking with Al Landis, Tuscarawas County Commissioner. Can you tell us about some of the business aspects of what's been going on lately in the commissioner's office? Absolutely.
Probably one of the most important things that we're doing right now is we just did our mid-year review. Budget season's coming up here. We will start asking the departments to submit their budgets probably beginning in October, and we'll get into it seriously in November and start looking at it. It's our responsibility to, and I think it's something that started when I was first coming into the office in 2019. Is that the commissioners, then commissioners Abiel, Metzger, and Scheretti invited me to come in and view the process, so that when I hit the ground running in 2019, that the budget was already out of the way. And I think when you have experience like Kerry Metzger and Chris Abiel, we have two new commissioners coming in 2023. Mm-hmm. Getting the budget behind us, and I think having that new group of commissioners coming in, that they can start fresh and they can get right into the business of working with the county and the departments and the residents. But we just finished that mid-year review, and of course, 2022 has been the toughest for a lot of people because of inflation.
Yes.
And so what we're doing is there's some things that were built into the budget for 2022 and some things that weren't. We didn't see this type of inflation on the radar with gasoline costs and supply chain issues and increased pricing. So what we're doing is we're just taking the pulse of where we are to make sure that we're in good solid shape. We may have to make some adjustments. We may have to move some money around to help some departments out, but we're taking that review now. We're making the adjustments now in preparation for the 2023 budget.
So we're not anticipating any departmental cuts necessarily in this fiscal year.
I don't see it. I just don't see it. I think that the work that these commissioners did before I got there, for the last 4 to 8 years, has put the county on very solid footing financially and fiscally. And I think, my hat's off to Commissioner Abiel, Metzger, and Scheretti, who got us on solid footing. So I think that the work that they did, the being fiscally responsible for all those years, really has paid off for us. And it's my goal is to make sure that, when I leave that office and Kerry Metzger leaves that office in 2023, that we're still on solid footing. We did make some investments. We needed a maintenance building. Our maintenance department was located on the top floor of the county courthouse. That's where you put your maintenance department, right? On the top floor of the courthouse. So we're making sure that we get that corrected. They had bought a building a few years ago that they took down there in the alley. And that is going to be the headquarters for our new maintenance department and storage for our equipment. And I think it's going to be much better suited. Plus, it frees space up in the courthouse for the judges, whether it's for juries or whatever they want to use it for. But the other one, and this is the big one, and this is something that had been in the works for years prior to me even coming in, and that is looking for a new home for the Board of Elections. I was there in 2020 during the presidential election, and let me say, our Board of Elections did a yeoman's job during a pandemic in a very large turnout election, moving people through in a very expeditious manner and a very safe manner, because we were running with 2 voting machines. They were cleaning them in between each use.
Yeah.
And myself and Board of Elections Director Gail Garbrandt, we went out and walked the line many, many times and thanked the people for their patience. So what the county has done is we've purchased land here on East High Avenue, and we're going to put up a multi-purpose building with the main function being the Tuscarawas County Board of Elections. And we have a very aggressive goal. We would like to be in by the presidential election in 2024. We're optimistic that we can meet that goal, but you run into supply chain issues. You run into the availability of contractors. But we've got the process going, and we're going to do the very best to serve the voters in Tuscarawas County by 2024, so they have a new place to work, and the Board of Elections is going to be around for a very long time in that location.
Yeah, I think that's going to be great. Everybody looking forward to that. If I can ask you before you leave, you're finishing your term, you're going on to other options in your career. Is there anything you're particularly going to miss about being a Tuscarawas County Commissioner? Sorry to spring that on you.
There's, and again, I've been reflecting, because the reality is starting to set in with the time here. We're approaching mid-July. We're in mid-July, and the time's fast approaching. I have to say, it's the people.
Yeah.
There's about 175 people in the county office building, and they have been very warm and receptive to me being there, and they've helped educate me and help guide me, and so I think that's what I'm going to miss the most, is the people. I guess, if you want to be a little bit silly, there's commute. The commute is only 13 minutes. And so I will miss that. But I won't, I'll kind of miss the 13 minutes. But again, it's my calling to, and my goal to do some other things here going forward. And if I could mention one more thing, we're here in 2022, and the recovery money from the federal government, the ARPA, that is big business, and it's very important how we allocate that money. And you have, what I'd like to include myself in the group as 3 commissioners are very fiscally responsible. The county received almost $18 million, and we want to make sure that we're investing that money, for the people, for quality of life, projects. And we've already allocated $3.6 million for water and sewer, but we're in the process right now of taking applications. We thought we could do this ourselves. We thought that after we got through the CARES money, we got through that pretty well with a team. And what we found out is when you receive federal money, there's a lot of strings attached and a lot more stringent, when you have to bid things out. Mm-hmm. So we were advised to get consultants, which we have done. And so that process has begun, and the consultants are in place, the review team is in place, and different groups, whether it's travel and tourism, or whether it's somebody from the private sector, or the homeless shelter. They put things in, they put the request in, and the consultants go through the review to see if it qualifies under the federal standards, which only changed about 4 or 5 times. That's why you get consultants.
Yes.
But so they check to see if it meets the standards, and then the review team recommends the ones that they feel should go forward and how much should be allocated to the commissioners, and then the commissioners will have the final say. But here it is, mid-July. Our goal is to start allocating money by August 1st. That's our goal, and I think it's a very exciting period of time for the community. And again, we're trying to be fiscally responsible and trying to serve all of Tuscarawas County.
So we look forward to those announcements then.
They'll be coming.
Right. Commissioner Al Landis, thank you so much for being with us this morning. We appreciate
Thank you for the opportunity, Brad.
That's Al Landis here, our guest on the 830 High Beam on the BT Morning Show.